Well, first of all, I want to just thank everybody for being here today. And this team played really well today. I thought they played with a sense of purpose. I thought they shared the basketball with each other. I mean, we scored 28 baskets. We had 20 assists on 28 baskets, and that's a sign of a team that's starting to come together. I thought we took shots in rhythm, and because we took shots in rhythm, we had a chance to get to the offensive boards. And because we had a chance to get to the offensive boards, we got second shots. So overall, I'm very happy with the way they played, the way they shared the basketball with each other, and the passion that they played with. So it was a very good team win. Happy for Jalen to score her 1,000 points. Happy for Shakima to get a career high. But honestly, there's more in them, and I think we'll start seeing that when we get to Big Ten play.
Start with questions or start with Ralph?
Coach, how would you evaluate where you've gotten to in your zone offense, your 2-3 zone offense? Everybody's basically 100% against you. Where would you say it is now, where it's reached?
Well, if I was giving us a grade, I would probably give us a B minus. But I think when someone asked me that a long time ago, I said we was probably at a D. So I thought that now you see the basketball going from one side of the floor to the other side of the floor, back to the other side of the floor, and we're getting good shots. I mean, I think Jalen hit a corner three where the basketball went to one side of the floor, came off, went back to the other side, and then she came back to the baseline on the opposite side and got a wide open shot. So when you can see the basketball moving from side to side against a zone, and then we're making shots, it opens up the zone. And when it opens up, you saw Shug finding Shakima in the lane. You saw her finding Ty in the lane. So I think we're at a B minus, but they know that we can get it better, and we're working on that very hard to get that better.
Put Dominique next.
Hi, Coach.
How you
I kind
doing,
of wanted to.
Dominique?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good, good. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about obviously a heavy rotation team, but you said that you were going to gradually start, playing a solid five out there on the floor for extended periods of time. Today was their most productive game on offense. So I just wanted to get your thoughts about that. How do you feel about this finally solidifying a group of girls that can come out there and be productive?
Well, I think that I told them when we left, was it Penn State? We left Penn State, and I wrote up on the board, we're going to go we're going to go from the 9th to the 19th, which is tomorrow. And when we get to tomorrow, if you know, we're going to expect you to play. If you don't know, we're going to continue to help you, but we're not going to cause the flow not to work because you don't know. So I think they're all buying into that. I think that they're getting better with it. It's interesting. Ash Brown came to me yesterday, and she said, Coach, the last game I was in a flow, and you took me out. And I said, yes, I did. And she said, well, why? Why didn't you take me out? I said, Ash, when you start asking questions about the team, then you'll start understanding why I took you out. And so today when she was sitting by me, we was having a conversation. I was like, Ash, who can you depend on when you come off the floor in Big Ten play? So if you're going to depend on someone, they got to play in order for you to be able to depend on it. Playing is confidence. So you have to gain some confidence. But now I think we understand who's going to be in the rotation. But now here's the thing. I would say this. No one's going to stay in the rotation simply by the fact that they're in the rotation. So the young ladies that come in and work hard every day, if they can push another player out of it, we're going to give them opportunity. But it won't be, the opportunity won't flow like 12 to 13 kids. I think when we talked at the beginning of the season, I think when you all interviewed me at the beginning of the season, I said we won't do that until like December 15th. When we get to December 15th, we'll start settling in. I think people didn't understand what we were saying, but we've given everybody a chance, and now we're starting to figure out who we need to play. And I thought they got in the flow, and I thought they played extremely well.
The other down.
Jalen, give me the full story. How was it? Did you know? What was the reaction? What was it like seeing the reaction from your teammates instantly when you hit 1,000?
Yeah, I knew I was close, but I mean, that's not something that you really have to think about when you're on the floor. You just have to stay in your rhythm and just say, I'm going to make the shots for my team. But they're a wild bunch, so it's really fun to see them. And I was like, oh, thanks, I don't really like it. But I was like, come on, we got to go play some defense. But it was really exciting. I'm glad I finally got in, and I'm glad to be able to do it here with these people.
I want to say this. Coach Edwards and Coach Damone, they've done an excellent job being in the gym with them shooting. I mean, we start the clock at 1,440.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to make 1,440 shots as a team in 45 minutes. And so they're starting to shoot the ball better, and you're starting to see it on the floor. And I credit Coach Edwards and Coach Damone. They're doing an excellent job of helping them get shots up while we're working on patterns, because we've been rotating. So we have one group in the gym shooting, another group's working on patterns, and I think they're doing an excellent job. So we're going to continue that during this Christmas time, so they got to become better.
Let's go to WRSU. We'll start with Sean.
Coach, when you started the season, you guys were taking a lot of contested three-point shots, and now you guys are finding wide open looks. What's led to that differential in terms of shooting?
Understanding the offense. I think early on we only knew like 4 or 5 patterns. Now we know about 35 patterns.
Yeah, we know a lot.
We know about 35 patterns now. So once they understand the concepts, baseline concepts, how to get off of stuff, and how to put that with another pattern, that's what it is. They understand where they're going. And so when you understand where you're going, you can get your feet set to make shots. Early on, they didn't have a clue about where they was going, and that was coaching, because of the fact that we hadn't put everything in. Like, I think we have about 90% of everything in now, so we're going to continue to grow, but I think now they know where the shot's coming from. I think Jalen understood that West was for her, and so when she came off of it, it was really good, and it looked good.
Allison?
Oh yeah, down a similar path of that. You guys scored 36 points in the paint today compared to Wagner's 8. What do you contribute your success on paint defense, especially because Wagner only got 8 inside?
Well, we went into the game saying we was going to double them, and I thought our players looked at me like, wait a minute, we got a double? And I thought they took that as not an insult, but to say that we have to double someone, that means that we can't cover them one-on-one. And so I think they took that to heart. I thought that Shakima got a length up, and she blocked some shots. I thought Talia fought to get around in the post. So we understood that 24 was their go-to player, and she's doing a lot of it on the paint. But today you watched her, she ended up floating around the perimeter, getting away from her strength, because her strength was catching on the block, reverse pivoting, and going baseline. And so I thought when we said we're going to double, I think they took that as, wait a minute, we don't have to double her. And I thought they did an excellent job of guarding.
We'll go to Alex, and then we'll circle back.
Absolutely. First off, Jalen, again, congrats on that 1,000-point milestone. Coach, congrats to you on your 7th win as the acting coach. Shakima, I'll go to you for the question. You put up 13 points. You went 5 of 7 from the field as a whole. You really had a big game today, sort of a breakout game in a way. How can you contribute that and the way you play with your big body presence? How can you keep that going once Big Ten play truly goes on for the rest of the season?
Just continue. Oh, sorry. Just continue to trust my teammates. I rely on them a lot, to give me the ball and to help me score. And just to continue to work every day. Like Coach Eman, I got on me today about taking that extra gather stat so I could make my layup. Just remembering that.
The one thing that you have to feel good about Shakima is that she knows. Like, of all the players on the team, you can ask Shakima a question and she knows the answer to the question. She's sort of like a point guard out there, with her intelligence on the floor. She really does well with that.
Where does that come from?
I would say it starts with her family. I think her mom stays on her all the time about being a good player. I think her dad was a terrific basketball player himself. So I just think that her brother plays. So I think her knowledge on the court is excellent. Because when I called her name, before I could get the words, I was like, okay, I got to jump, stop, square. She was telling me, so I was like, okay, you got it. But I think she's a bright young lady, and I think her intellect on the court is excellent.
Back to Dominique, then Ralph.
Okay, so last post game we had 2 starters that were in there, Lassiter and Petrie, and today you 2 came off the bench. Talk a lot about solidifying the rotation, but 2 bench players that made a huge impact today. So I just kind of wanted to ask both of you guys, what do you kind of tell yourself? Because Petrie said that, engagement is the thing that you guys talk about there on the bench. I felt like the bench was really engaged tonight. So what is something that you guys tell yourself to make sure to come in and make an immediate impact?
Sorry. Honestly, it's just like trying to keep up with the intensity. Like we always tell each other, like come out and like punch them in the, not literally, but punch the team in the face. Like come out hard, basically. And we just try to keep up the level of intensity coming into the game so that we continue to go on the run that we're on.
For me, I know I play a point guard position, so I'm constantly trying to listen to what Coach Eatman is telling Shug or Say to run. That way I can kind of, see what the defense is doing and why we're running those certain patterns. So it's being engaged really the entire time with him and with what's happening on the floor.
Yeah, and also like asking a lot of questions. Like I asked Coach Jeff, I sit next to Coach Jeff a lot and ask like a lot of questions. I actually personally feel better coming off the bench because I get to see like what I'm working with, like what the opponent is doing, and I think it's better for me. I think it helps me. So.
Thank you.
Coach, you got about, let's say, I think it probably end up being 10 days of practice, between now and the Indiana game. So what would you love to achieve? I'm sure you have a to-do list. What do you feel today? What would you love to achieve more than anything? I know the answer to the list is long, but how would you summarize what you'd love to achieve over these 10 days that perhaps you're prioritizing now that you're into it?
Well, we're going to start with transition defense. That's our first thing, because we have to protect the house. And in Big Ten play, you can't give up easy opportunities. So we started working on transition defense yesterday, and so our first focus is transition defense to make sure that we don't give up easy baskets. So that's the first stop. Then we're going to get back to our defensive principle. We've spent so much time learning offense that if you can imagine a Rutgers team, we haven't worked on defense in 3 weeks because we've been so focused on trying to get better offensively. But we're going to get back to that. But our first thing is transition defense. Our second thing is that can we change defense a little bit more? Do we have to stay in player to player? Can we get into our 3-2 zone? Can we get into our perfect? Can we play some Harvard? Can we play some 2-3 trap? Because you can't play in this league without keeping people off balance. So that's why it's going to be good for us to find out who we're going to play, who's going to be there for us, so now we'll know where to put people at the right time. If they stay hungry, we'll go tomorrow, we'll go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then they'll get 3 days off. But each day we're going to try to work on a phase. But our first focus is going to be our execution on the defensive end, and we got to continue to work on the execution on the offensive end.
Tim, anything else for the group?
No, I just think it's a very good win for our program. I think we're 3 games behind where we need to be, but I'm happy about where we're going. And if we can continue to make strides in where we're going, I think they have a chance to be really good. And so we're going to keep focusing on trying to get better every day. But I think we're starting to see us. When you score 28 baskets and you get 20 assists off the 28 basket, that tells you that they're starting. And so we're really happy with that. I think we had 4 players in double figures today. We had 4 players in double figures the other day. Just like you may mention, Dom, that these 2 came off the bench and led us today. So we'll find it, but we got to continue to focus on the little things. And if we continue to focus on the little things, they have a chance to be a really good basketball team. So it's going to be tough. We're 3 games behind where we need to be. But we're going to find a way to claw our way back to get to where we need to be. And we're happy about that.
Thanks so much, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you.